Hello everyone, welcome to this video where I'm going to be doing a tier list for all of the Beatles studio albums, the UK versions obviously. Now I know I did a fairly similar video where I obviously ranked the Beatles albums, but it's a little bit different. We've got a kind of tier system, we can have albums in the same tiers. It's just a nice little video idea I thought I'd do. So obviously we've got these all in release order and we're going to do them in release order. So we're starting with Please Please Me. Please Please Me is a really solid kind of starting album, and there's definitely not a lot on it I would skip or change. It's got a good sound, it's got a lot of good songs. It's definitely not an S tier album. I'm gonna stick it in A. I think it's a very solid album, but I think S tier is kind of for, you know, unmissable. Like you need to listen to this album. Preferably in an ideal world, everyone would listen to all these albums. It's not the case, so I think S should be really for albums that, I mean, you really should, and the rest are going, from A is a fantastic, it's a good album, but if you miss it, so be it, kind of thing. But you are missing out, obviously, but it's not essential golden era. But anyway, I'm waffling. Next we've got With the Beatles. I'm going to get hate for this, but I don't think With the Beatles is as good as Please Please Me. I just think it's kind of, it's more of a repeat in a way, but not as good as a repeat, I think, in my opinion. From With the Beatles to Beatles for Sale, so obviously with the Beatles, A Hard Day's Night and Beatles for Sale, I think these three are all very similar sounding. Not to say they're bad, and not to say that the songs on them are bad, but the songs all have the same kind of sound to them, the same kind of genre, and it's not until we get to maybe Rubber Soul Revolver, and then definitely from those on we get the kind of different sounds from the Beatles. Again, not to say it's a bad album, but for me, preferably, I just wouldn't listen to it as much as Please Please Me. So obviously now we have A Hard Day's Night. It's a better album than With the Beatles, but it's, again, I'm not going to put it in A tier, just because, again, if I was listening to these all the way through, I'd definitely be listening to Please Please Me over A Hard Day's Night. Again, that's just me. A Hard Day's Night does have some really good songs on it, again, but it's, again, still the same similar vibe, and there are some songs on it that I would skip, but it is definitely better than With the Beatles. So obviously I'm going to try and loosely order these albums in their tiers, but it is a loose kind of rating, so I do think A Hard Day's Night is better, but again, they're in the same tier. It's kind of a loose ranking. Now we have Beatles for Sale. Now this is an unpopular album. It's normally people's least favourite, not including Yellow Submarine, obviously. I don't mind it. It's probably, again, it's definitely not an A, and it's kind of barely a B. Like, I personally do prefer it to With the Beatles, so I'm going to probably put it there. It's probably not as good as an album as With the Beatles, but just from a own personal opinion preference standpoint, I prefer listening to it. That's all there is to it, really. I am going to try and take into consideration not just my own personal opinion, but also the kind of impact and other people's opinion and wide opinion, if you know what I mean. But I'm happy putting it there. Okay, now you have Help, and again, Help is kind of a bit of a leap from these three, but again, it's not my favourite. And I mean, these earlier albums up until Rubber Soul, excluding Please Please Me, are really kind of, they're just alright for me. Like, they are good albums, but I much prefer the later stuff. So again, Help, it's, I think in popular opinion it's definitely an A, but for my own opinion it goes down to a B. So because of that, I'm going to put it at the top of B. I'll be fair to it. It's obviously got some really good songs on it, like Yesterday and Help, obviously. Then there's also songs like I've Just Seen a Face, It's Only Love, which are not as popular, but I really like them. But then it's got things like Dizzy Miss Lizzy at the end of the album. I really don't like the song. I'm not sure on other people's opinions on that. I really don't like it. I think if you're listening to it from start to finish, like, the album would end so nicely on Yesterday, and then just Dizzy Miss Lizzy's there, and it's like, can you not do that? Okay, Rubber Soul, it's an A. I'm not putting it in S. This may annoy people. It's an A. It's not an S for me, simply because I'd skip a few things on here. it's a leap and bounds from everything else we've had so far, and it is a really solid album. But again, there's just certain songs on here that, for me, they're okay. Like What Goes On or Run For Your Life, it's kind of even, like Wait. They're not bad songs at all, and for any other band to have created them, they'd be good songs and they'd be regarded well. But yeah, for me, they're just there. They're okay. I wouldn't really put them on if they came on shuffle. I'd leave them on, but I wouldn't go out my way to put them on. Obviously, there are good songs on here like Norwegian Wood, Nowhere Man, Michelle, In My Life, obviously. But it for me, it's just not quite S. Okay, Revolver is the first S. It is the first S. Revolver's brilliant. A lot of people have the debate on Revolver versus Rubber Soul, which is better. For me, it's a pretty clear winner, and it is Revolver. It's a great album. There's not a lot of bad stuff. Well, no, there is no bad stuff on it. I'm chatting back. There is no bad stuff on it. Even the weaker songs are good on this album. I happily listen to it all the way through, and I think at one point in my life I have gone out my way to put each individual song of these on and listen to them because they're good songs, and it's a great solid album, and you need to listen to it. Right, Sgt. Pepper's obviously a massive album, some people's favourites, obviously like culturally had a massive impact. I don't think it's as good as Revolver though. It's still S tier, I'm going to put it in S. But there's a few songs on here that let it down. Good Morning. Why? I don't know popular opinion on this. I may be the only one here. Everyone else might be like, oh my god, it's the best song ever, what are you doing? And if that's the case, sorry, my bad, but it's my opinion. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I would skip it every time and I would never put it on. I do not like the song. And then you've got other songs like Fixing a Hole and Getting Better, which are okay, but they're not, they're just good songs, but they're not, I just don't think they're as solid as some on Revolver. But you have got some amazing, A Day in the Life, She's Leaving Home, like, there are some brilliant songs on here. And it is an S tier just because of what it did at the time. Okay, Magical Mystery Tour. I think this is a really underrated album. It's not S. It's not as good as Sgt. Pepper's, but I'm putting it above Rubber Soul. Again, these are loose rankings. It's very loose, but it is slightly, I'd say, better. Magical Mystery Tour, The Fall on the Hill, Blue Jay Way, Your Mother Should Know, I'm the Walrus, Hello Goodbye, and Strawberry Fields Forever, Penny Lane, All You Need Is Love. It's really solid. You have a bit of filler in there, like Flying. And obviously, Baby You're a Metro Man. I don't know popular opinion on that one, but it's just, I don't like it that much. It's alright. I don't hate it, but it's just alright. However, the rest of the album's really, really solid. Really good songs on there. We have the Beatles, or more commonly known as the White Album, and for me, it's going right up here. I love the White Album. A lot of people make an argument it should have been a single album with these songs on it, blah blah blah, but I don't know, it works really well. It's a good album, and this is the difference for me in the Beatles between the White Album, as I will call it, for no confusion, between the White Album and say With the Beatles. Is with the Beatles you can put it on and you can listen to it and it'll be enjoyable, but everything's going to sound similar in a way. I think you all know what I mean by that. I'm not saying the songs are bad, I'm not saying the songs copy each other, but they all have a kind of similar tone where you can go, oh, that's the Beatles. Whereas the White Album, you can go from While My Guitar Gently Weeps to Happiness Is a Warm Gun, straight to Martha My Dear, to Blackbird. There's a different variety of brilliant songs, and for me, even the weaker songs on the album aren't bad. The only thing on it that lets it down is Revolution 9, and even that, it's listenable. I wouldn't put it on. I have listened to it all the way through once in my life, just to do it, just to be like, what is this I like all the way through? And it's doable. Like, do you know what I mean? If you've got it on in the background, it's just something in the background, and the rest of the songs are pretty alright. There's not a lot on it I really don't like, and the good stuff on here is really, really good. It is top act, and I think it's rougher than Revolver. Revolver's a really smooth listen, like from track to track to track. It feels really polished and really smooth, and it's a good solid album. And the White Album doesn't feel quite as solid or smooth. It does all feel a bit jumbled, but I think that's what makes the album good. It just hops from one genre to another, and it's brilliant. Right, we've got Yellow Submarine. It's D. Unfortunately, it is a D album. It's by no means bad, but half of the album is the George Martin score, which I don't think anyone would argue saying the score is bad, but it's just not the Beatles. It's a good score for what it is that George Martin put together, but it is just not the Beatles. And the other half, the side, the A side, that is the Beatles, is good, but not good enough to carry the entire album through. I mean, we've got Yellow Submarine, which is it's a good song, but it was on Revolver. It's not new. Only a Northern song. I can't stand. It was on the video of the few Beatles songs that I don't like. I really don't like it. It's weird, and it's just not. Like, there's Beatles songs that are kind of weird, but in a good way, like Blue Jay Way. Like, it's strange and it's different, but I like it and I can listen to it and I enjoy it. And then there's Only a Northern Song, and it does all the same things as Blue Jay Way, being weird and different, but not in a good way for me. I mean, if you like it, you like it, and that is 100% fine, because this is all, when I'm saying stuff like this, it's just my personal opinion, it's my personal taste, and if you like, Only a Northern Song, if it's one of your favourite songs, you think it's the best thing they ever created, you think it's George's masterpiece, fair enough, that's up to you. Personally, I think it's shit. Then obviously things like Hey Bulldog, which are kind of undiscovered gems in a way. That's a brilliant song that I think is gaining more recognition now. Maybe not as much as it should have had, but it's overall the album's it's meh. And if you put this album on from start to finish, I think you'll listen to the first half, get to the second half, and turn it off. Abbey Road. So obviously the worst album ever created. No, right, come on. It's Abbey Road. Do I need to talk about it? Do I need to? It's Abbey Road. I mean, if I was talking to someone that had never listened to the Beatles before and they said, look, I want to give them a go, but I'm only going to put one album on. I'm listening to one album and that's it. And if I don't like it, I'll never listen. Abbey Road. Put Abbey Road on. Just put it on from start to finish. It is glorious. There is not a bad song on this. There is not a bad song on this album. There's not even a weak song on this album. What is the weak song? Try and name it. What is the weak song? There isn't one. There's not a weak song. Even Her Majesty, that kind of 30 seconds at the end, it's great. I love it. It's brilliant. It works. There's not a weak song. Even some of the weaker, not weak, but let's just say weaker songs, part of the medleys maybe from like Polythene Pam or Sun King, on their own, they're good songs. They're good songs on their own, as is. You could just put one on and it's a good song. But as a part of the medley, just listening to the album from start to finish, it's so good. I love this album. It's my favourite album. There's no doubt about it. It is God tier. Last but not least is Let It Be. And it's a hard one. It is hard because I don't know. And I don't know for a couple reasons. I don't know because I like it. I really like Let It Be. And I don't know because I know what Let It Be could have been. As in the regard of, let's look at Let It Be Naked, which was Paul's attempt at doing the album he would have wanted. And it shows what the album could have been, but in a different way. I think certain aspects of Let It Be Naked and Let It Be can be combined to create the perfect album, the best that this album could be. It's really difficult. I mean, if Don't Let Me Down was on this and like Dig It was taken off, I don't even mind Maggie Mace. That can stay on for all I care. But let's just replace Don't Let Me Down with Dig It. This album, for me, could be probably top of A. But I don't know. It might be bottom of A. I don't know. I don't know how other people are going to feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. I really like Let It Be, and I like the songs on Let It Be, but it got ruined by Phil Spector, and it could have been a lot better, and that's what annoys me. It could have been a lot better. If we had Don't Let Me Down off of Naked on there, and I don't mind the Let It Be on the original, so the song Let It Be on the Let It Be original album can stay because it has the good solo, so that's fine. And I don't mind the intros on this Let It Be. So on like Two of Us and Get Back, you have like the dialogue from John and Paul before it goes into the song. I don't mind that. I quite like it. I don't know how other people feel about it. But then you've got like Across the Universe and The Long and Winding Road are kind of better on the Naked version. I don't know. It's hard. I'm gonna leave it here. it might be a little bit better than Please Please Me. I'm going to leave it there. Again, remember, this is in their tiers, it's very loosely ranked. Other than this, I think this is probably about right. But yeah, I'm happy enough with that. I'd say let it be. Yeah, it's there. In its state that it is, it's there. So that was my album tier list for the Beatles. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you watched this far, thank you. Fair enough. I mean, I have waffled a bit this video, but you know, thanks for watching. If you've got any suggestions for me down below, please do let me know, and I'll see you guys later.